What really happened behind Taehyung's return? Jungkook confesses, the biggest surprise in the history of BTS's internal dynamics may have just begun, and it all started with one lingering question. Why has Jungkook changed since Taehyung returned from military service? In the tightly controlled and structured world of Korean entertainment, every expression, communication gap, and management decision can hide deeper meanings. But this time, Jungkook's silence is no longer merely seen as a form of professionalism, but as a sign of a more complex emotional wound. The question is, what really happened behind the scenes that led Jungkook to speak up, and why has Taehyung's name become the center of the storm? In a limited interview released by Japanese media last week, Jungkook made a statement that immediately sparked a wave of speculation among fans and industry observers. There are things I didn't even know, and when I finally found out, it made me think twice about everything. The statement, although it didn't directly mention Taehyung's name, was immediately linked to their relationship, especially after the group's dynamic showed a noticeable change since Taehyung returned to the public eye after his military service. For more than 2 months, Jungkook has visibly reduced his activity on official platforms and on several occasions appeared awkward during group interviews. In the latest fan meeting, which is usually filled with warmth and nostalgia, he seemed reluctant to answer questions about the members' togetherness. The absence of direct interaction, or even a mere mention of Taehyung, has become too obvious to ignore. Meanwhile, Taehyung, known as an expressive and open figure, has also provided little explanation regarding his relationship with the other members, especially with Jungkook. The issue widened when a K-Entertainment forum uploaded documents allegedly representing HYBE's internal communication regarding special requests from Taehyung's management team during his military service. The document stated that Taehyung was experiencing high psychological stress, including a request for private access to a psychologist and restrictions on media interaction, even internally. What was shocking was the claim that this information was not shared with the other BTS members, including Jungkook. If true, this explains a lot. The shock, disappointment, even a sense of betrayal that now seems to radiate from Jungkook's body language every time Taehyung's name is mentioned. But is this merely about information management? Or is there more to it? Several unnamed industry sources mentioned that during his service, Taehyung had filed complaints about management pressure regarding his involvement in certain projects not yet revealed to the public. One source even claimed there was a sharp dispute between HYBE management and Taehyung's legal representatives concerning restrictions on digital rights and image ownership. If this dispute is true, and if other members, especially Jungkook, were never informed about the situation, then emotional tension is not only understandable, but could be seen as a result of a system that suppresses them in silence. What makes this issue even more sensitive is the long history of closeness between Jungkook and Taehyung, which for years became the foundation of BTS's warm image in the eyes of the public. They were known as the soulmate duo, members who were not only close on stage, but also seemed to have a strong emotional connection. Therefore, if their relationship has indeed fractured, this is more than mere gossip. It is a symbol of something much deeper, a shift in BTS's internal identity itself. HYBE has chosen to remain silent. In its official release, they only stated that all communication processes between artists and the agency follow protocol and emphasized the importance of privacy during military service. But precisely because there is no firm denial, public opinion continues to spiral. Fan communities have even begun to re-examine every public interaction, old video footage, and hidden posts to look for clues that support their theories. Not only fans, several media analysts have also begun to question management's decision to isolate information among members. If it's true that members were not given full access to information about their fellow groupmates' situations, this could have a serious impact on overall team trust, said a communications expert from Seoul National University. He added that in a group as large as BTS, emotional management between members should be a top priority, not just public narrative control. The pressing question now is, what exactly did Jungkook know? And when did he find out? Was the delay in information enough to shake his emotional foundation regarding Taehyung? And if so, does this signify a deeper issue in their relationship as group mates and friends? For now, the public can only speculate. But one thing is certain, something has changed, and Jungkook is no longer hiding his disappointment. In his latest live stream broadcast, he delivered a loaded statement. Sometimes, we think we know everything until we realize we only know what we're allowed to know. That sentence immediately trended across various social media platforms, flooded with interpretations from all sides. It is worth noting that in Korean culture, expressions like these are rarely made without specific intent. In an industry system full of control, the courage to speak, even just a vague sentence, is a form of protest that cannot be taken lightly. Jungkook, with all his influence, chose to send that message, and now the hot potato is in HYBE's hands. Will they clarify? Or will they allow the fog of mystery to continue thickening? What's clear is that the public is waiting. And perhaps for the first time, silence is no longer a form of protection, but a symbol of a communication crisis that can no longer be avoided. One thing we must all remember, whether fans or observers, is that behind the dazzling spotlight, these idols are still human, with wounds, hopes, and disappointments that sometimes cannot be hidden with smiles or camera filters. If this is the beginning of a new chapter for BTS, then it is a chapter not opened with music, but with questions. We've seen how a vague statement from Jungkook could trigger a wave of questions shaking BTS's foundation. But now, the question has shifted. Is any of this truly real, or are we caught in a narrative game designed for attention? In an era where TikTok videos spread faster than official clarifications, and every YouTube interview snippet or Twitter post becomes evidence, how often do we pause to ask, what's the motivation behind every viral upload? Imagine if the claims about HYBE's internal documents are merely a complex hoax created by irresponsible individuals seeking to provoke an emotional reaction from ARMY. Aren't statements like psychological requests or limited communication susceptible to distortion or exaggeration? Now ask yourself, are you really seeing facts or only interpretations shaped by sensational headlines? Furthermore, how do we verify truth when sources are so varied and anonymous? Does a single Twitter post deserve to be treated as fact without clarification? Can a viral YouTube comment be equal to an official document? And if a Korean entertainment journalist claims to have solid evidence, has that person presented an original copy or just a vague story to stir drama? The more we ask, the more we realize how fragile the line is between reality and fabrication. Now, let's reflect together. Are you convinced these events truly happened as reported, or is this merely a fabrication for clicks and views? How deeply do you fact-check before sharing a circulating story? Are you skeptical enough of sensational headlines crafted to provoke emotion? How should we respond to controversial rumors without sacrificing empathy toward the idols? The information we shared comes from various platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and other online media, but so far, there is no strong official verification. Therefore, we invite you not to be easily swept up in the storm of rumors, but to audit every claim, ask for clear sources, and hold back before spreading unverified news. Remember, behind every rumor, there are always two sides of the coin: fact and fabrication. A critical mindset and a willingness to question are our strongest shields against today's information storm. Thank you for watching until the end and choosing to stay clear-headed. We hope this reflection encourages us all to be wiser in responding to every piece of news we receive.